person of a group can enhance the stress in other members of the group, or all members are affected by that person's stress, then it will become over cohesiveness in a group. Next, intergroup conflicts. If many people or the group has different type of opinions, then it will develop stress. Poor communication among group members. Every person lives in his her peer group or a group. If there is some poor communication in a group, then it will also cause stress. Then lack of social support. Everybody wants a social support, and if there is a lack of social support, then it will become stress for it. Next slide, please. So that was the group factor. Now we will talk about individual stressors. What are the individual stressors? Individual person, it depends on the type of personality. Person may be extrovert or introvert. Extrovert person, as you know, that extrovert person can release his stress with their friends, with their writing, with their some releasing channels. But a introvert person is a kind of personality which preserves or restore his thoughts, his stresses with them, and he feels more stressed as compared to the extrovert person. There may be role conflicts also. The person, sometimes the person can't understand what is his role in the society, in the workplace. It may also create stress. There may be ambiguity means confusion. If a person is highly confused with his work, with his duties, with his personalities, then it will also create stress for individual level. Now, role overloaded. If a person, if a lady has so many roles, he has to work as a mother, as a teacher, as a sister-in-law, as a daughter-in-law. There are so many roles. Then it will also create stress. Next one is a major role in these pandemic time: economic insecurities. Economic insecurities causes stress at individual. Lack of ability. If I know that I am not able to do this work, but I have the job. If a person who is good in playing guitar and he is working as an engineer, so he feels that he is not able for that particular work, but he has to do that work due to his livelihood or anything. So then he will feel unable for that thing, and that will create stress in that personality. Then emotional unbalancing is, if there is emotional unbalancing in a person, that will create stress. There may be some physical weaknesses. If I feel that I am unable to do that particular kind of work, but I have some physical weaknesses, then it will create stress. Next level is organizational stressors. If a person who is working in a particular organization and there are job insecurities, then it will create stress. Lack of autonomy means if a person does not have any kind of decision making power, he is totally depends on others, then it will create stress at or in the individual or the worker of an organization. Organizational structure, if there is a lack of hierarchy in a organization, then it will also create stress. Work overload, if employees of a system are have so much work, no piece of entertainment, then they will also feel stress. Poor physical environment of our organization, if the infrastructure is not proper, if there is some smell, if there is no aeration, there is cross problems with ventilation, then they will create stress also. Then type of jobs, there are some type of jobs which creates individual stresses, or this is related to the organizational stresses, like doctors, nurses, firefighters, even psychologists. They the nature of their job is kind of this, that it will create stress in their minds also. Then harsh and inhuman management. If the management is not behaving like a human or not empathized with their workers, then it will create stress. Extra organizational stressors. If a person who is not working with who is working with an organization, there are some features that are related to organizational structure, but other than that there may be some extra organizational stressors like stressful life of a family member. If I saw a person of my life, if a person of my family who is dealing with some stress, then I also feel stress due to that attachment or something. Second one is technological inabilities. In these days everybody is working with these technologies, latest technologies. The old workers are feeling like they are unable to cope with this technological jump, then it will also develop some stress. Political pressures may also causes stress. Then poor financial management, it will also cause stress. Changes in responsibilities, like a person who is before marriage, after marriage, a lady who is before motherhood, after motherhood, the responsibilities are changed and the person is going through some stress also. Then life changes a trauma. If the life is totally changed, the loss in business or maybe death of some spouse or this kind of situation, that will also create stress in a personality. Now, stress is not always a bad thing. There may be types of stresses. Eustress. Eustress, there should require some stress to be worked out. So, eustress, it is the healthy, positive, and developmental stress response. Some stress is required that as some person can do a work or finalize a work. Then distress, it is the unhealthy and negative stress response. When distress is take its level high, then it becomes acute stress. It's short-term stress reaction to be immediate threat. And then after the acute stress level is crossed, then it will become chronic stress. It is a long-term stress reaction resulting from ongoing situations. Next slide, please. So this graph is showing the stress level, and as you can see, if there is no stress, nobody is saying to anybody, so nobody will do their work. So we all do their work. We read before the exams. If somebody says there will be no exams, then no student will read. So there should require some stress, that is eustress, and that will give us our optimal performance. And before this, if there is no stress, then it will the person will become bored or there will be no improvement. And if the stress level is slightly increased and reaching to the optimal performance, then we will work energized, we will work focused, then work feels effortless. Then if the stress has become high and high, then we will feel fatigue, exhaustion, health problems. And if the situation is not under control, then it will lead to breakdown and burnout also. So this situation shows the calm effects and the eustress, which is the most positive part of this stress, and the distress. Next slide, please. So what are the consequences of stress? Organizational consequences. In an organization, if the employees are regularly living in a stress condition, then there are so many things which increase, like absenteeism. Then productivity will decline. So compensation claims are also increased. Then health insurance issues are working, and direct medical expenses are increased for an organization. It may be a academic, non-academic, industrial. We are talking about all the organizations. Next slide, please. So we are talking especially about the individual consequences of the stress. In nutshell, there are three types of consequences of stress, it may be physiological, psychological, it may be behavioral and physiological. Psychological means related to our mental setup. It may cause anxiety, depression, low self-esteem, sleeplessness, frustration. There may be family problems and burnout. Burnout means the overloaded stress which requires some medical help. Now, behavioral changes. There may be some behavioral changes during stress. You all see in your surroundings like excessive smoking, substance abuse, accidents proneness, and appetite disorders. Next, physiological disorders which are developed as the result of regular stress are high blood pressure, muscle tensions, headaches, ulcer, skin diseases, impaired immune system, musculoskeletal disorders, muscles and skeletal, bones and muscles related disorders, heart diseases, and cancer. All are caused by regular stress. Next point. So this slide also shows our body part which are directly or indirectly affected by the regular stress during our life. Next slide, please. So, if stress is positive thing, we were talking about eustress. Then why what is the level at which we can say that I am stressed or I am in negative part of a stress condition? So, according to Edward Kagan, there are some signs of stress. If you feel irritable, you have sleeping difficulties, you do not get any joy out of life, you feel bored, or your appetite is disturbed, you have relationship problems and have a difficult time getting along with the people, then this condition is called stress conditions. If you have these kind of signs, you are in the alarming stage that you have to do something with yourself for stress management. Next slide, please. So this is a stress. What is a stress? You all understand. Now, on the base of this fundamental knowledge, we have to move towards stress management. So what is stress? Now, in a nutshell, you can understand that body's physical, mental, or chemical reaction to the circumstances that frighten, confuse, endanger, and irritate you is called stress. Now, what is stress management? Stress management is related not, the condition is not related to this that stress will not develop, or if develop, then it is about to learning skills that would enhance our body's adjustment when we are subjected to the stress or previous life bad experiences. So it is about the learning of that particular skill set. That is called stress management. So the media, in these days, the media is full of stress management programs. So various methods recommended for stress management are like meditation. Everybody suggests that we have to take deep breaths for meditation. There may be exercises to get moving or release the stresses. Time in the nature, we have to give some time to spend some time with nature for relaxation. We have to sleep well to get proper recharge of our body. We have to connect with society. For this, we can join various clubs, we can write something, we can do something for our interest. We should eat well to reduce caffeine and make a list, like prioritize our task to reduce any haziness, any stress conditions. These are the various methods recommended for stress management at your media and in your books, in other things also. But we are talking about something different. Next slide, please. So, here are some role of ethics and morals in stress management. What is ethics and morals? Ethics and morals are considered as key to incorporate mental and emotional strength in a personality that can reduce the level of stress by changing the perception about a situation. The situation is same, but a ethical or morally healthy person can think about that same situation positive side, but a unethical person can think about the same situation in negative side. As a result, stress may be disappeared or managed in its emerging stage, in its initial stage. Next slide, please. Next slide. So, there are confusion in two terms, ethics and morals. Some people think that these both are same things, but there are a little bit difference between ethics and morals. This summarized table can easily is helpful to easily understand the difference between morals and ethics. The meaning, morals are the beliefs of individual or group as to what is right or wrong. Ethics are guiding principles which help the individual or group to decide what is good or bad. Morals are generally principles set by a group. We have some morals in Hinduism, in Buddhism, in Islamism, in Christianity. We have some morals. But ethics responds to a specific situation from an individual. Then it is called ethics. The root word mos, which means and ethikos, which means character. It depends on the character, it depends on the situation, it depends on the individual, what he feels that is good or bad. There is a difference between good or bad, and there is a difference between right or wrong. So now, social and cultural norms govern this situation, whereas ethics are controlled by individual, legal, and professional norms. There may be ethical code of any organization also. Now, it will deal with principles of right and wrong, and it deals with right and wrong conduct. क्या होना चाहिए, क्या हुआ? There is a difference between these two terms. So, in business, morals are not accepted, but every business, every situation, every organization has its ethical conduct code. Then consistency, morals may differ from society to society and culture to culture. Ethics are generally uniform. Morals are expressed in the form of general rules and statements. Ethics are abstract or subjected to an individual or a person. There is no freedom of thinking or choosing in morals because they are related to their religions or cultures or the society, but ethics can be decided by an individual herself or himself. Next. Ethical principles. So first we will talk about the ethics, then we will talk about the morals. So ethical principles and stress management. If a person can walk with the ethical principles, then his stress will already manage. How? The ethical principle first is honesty. To be honest and loyal in all actions and communication, it prohibits stealing, cheating, fraud, and trickery. Cheating is not only dishonest, but takes advantage of those who are not cheating. So if a person is honest, then her stress level is already down and the stress is managed already. Then personal integrity. If in personal integrity leads to the perfect performance, promise keeping promise and fulfill commitments can reduce stress. Fairness, equity and judgment leads to block the chain of stress in an organization and group level stresses. You all feel like these kind of things, and these all words have a deep value, but they are very simple words. Caring, the person should demonstrate compassion and general concern for well-being of the society. Respect for others, it includes civility, courtesy, tolerance, and decency towards different opinion of another person. The reciprocal behavior to the follower is helpful to maintain self-esteem and reduce stress. Another ethical principle is law abiding. If a person has the habit to obey the rules, it is always helpful to change the perception and stress condition. And it will give confidence also. Next slide. Next is accountability. When a person has a willingness to accept responsibility for his her own actions, there are least chances to ambiguity as well as stress. Similarly, truthworthiness is another ethical principle which will help to help in stress management. Truthworthiness is being honest, dependable, and being reliable to get things done right. Without trust, allies can become enemies and causing stress to the both ends. Next slide, please. And next ethical principle is pursuit of excellence. If a person leads with this ethical principle, it will definitely reduce stress management. The pursuit of excellence has an ethical dimension when others rely upon your knowledge, ability, or willingness to perform tasks safely and effectively. That will create a positive image of an individual, that will create self-esteem of an individual, and that will also helpful in stress management. Perseverance, responsible people finish what they start, overcoming rather than surroundings to obstacles and excuses. Then it will also lead to the stress management. So ethical principles are always helpful in stress management. Next. We are talking engineering branch or technical branch. So engineering in the engineering societies such as this IEEE and AICTE all have framed these codes of ethics which are helpful to engineers to strengthen the moral issues on their work. The code of ethics play at least 8 important roles such as the following: serving and protecting the public. As an engineer, it is our responsibility to serve and protect the public issues, the public welfareness, guidance. Codes are written in brief yet prove effective in offering general guidance to the engineers which tell how to apply the code. Next slide, please. Next. Hello. Good morning. हाँ बेटा अभी ना मेरा एक टॉक चल रही है, मैं बात करती हूँ आपसे. Next slide, please. So shared standards, the standards established should be applicable to all individuals. All these are guidelines decided by various engineering societies in their particular professions. With the code of ethics, the public is assured of engineers with minimum standards of excellence, and the professionals are provided a fair way to compete. Inspiration, code of ethics which specify a collective commitment towards a profession helps in motivating the engineers towards ethical conduct. Actually, these codes make one feel really responsible and proud to be professional, thus motivating towards the commitment one should have toward one's profession. So as I already told you that ethics are decided according to the quality, the nature of profession, according to the nature of individual. So every organization has its own ethical code. Then support for responsible professionals. The professionals who act ethically have more positive support through these codes. A professional engineer who has the intention to stand by the code of ethics can have no harm from immoral professionals' obligations, as he can reject smoothly yet firmly, as well as these codes can provide legal support for engineers criticized for living up to work-related professional obligation. These codes can also help the engineers to tackle the situation on the basis of ethical or moral behalf. Then education and mutual understanding, the code which are widely circulated and officially approved by professional societies promotes a shared understanding among professionals, the public and government organization about the moral responsibilities of engineers. Now, deterrence and disciplines. The professional who fail to follow the code exhibits unethical conduct, which is evident from the disobedience towards their profession. Such an investigation generally requires paralegal proceedings designed to get at the truth about a given charge without violating the personal right of those being investigated. So this might lead to explosion of those whose professional conduct has been proven unethical, which also leads to loss of respect from colleagues and the local community, and that will create stress for that individual. Contributing to the professional image, code project the engineers as the professionals of ethically committed profession, which inspire them to work with great commitments and more effectively to serve the public. It can also win greater power of self-regulation for the profession itself. Next slide. So we have talked about ethics, that the ethic that is related to an individual, that is related to a group of individuals. But now we are going to talk about morals. What is morality? Morality refers to the quality of human acts by which we call them right or wrong, good or evil. Human action is right when it conforms with the norms, rules, or law of morality. So every culture has their own code of law. Culture, not individual. Every culture, every society, every religion has a code of rules, morals. And the morals, what are the morals? Morals are the quality of human acts by which we call them right or wrong, good or evil. Right? For example, killing a person as a moral, killing a person is a bad thing. Then this is called moral. This is wrong thing. This is called moral. But killing a person in a particular situation may be good or bad, then it is called ethics, because ethics is decided by an individual, but the morals, it right or wrong, it is decided by a society or a culture. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. So what are the features of morals? Actually, morals are inbuilt or designed in our brain from the early childhood, or from various memories in our subconscious mind. All men and women, regardless of race and belief, have a sense of this foundational moral principles. It is ingrained in man's nature. So moral are more related to nature and law of nature. It is built into the design of human nature and woven into the fabric of the normal human mind. If I am going to kill a person, it is in my subconscious, it is inbuilt that killing a human being is a wrong thing. Then the moral suggests me in my conscious mind that killing is a wrong thing. I should not kill a person. So they are built into the design of our human mind. We are inclined to do what we recognize is good and avoid that which we recognize is evil. So if we are saying that kindness is a good thing, so everybody wants to do that, the kindness work or the things that shows that I have done some kind work. So we are inclined to do what we recognize is good, but everybody wants to detain himself to killing a person. That is, we avoid that which we recognize is evil. Our act is moral when it is in accordance with our human nature. So as I have already told you, morals are related to our nature, our base, our subconscious mind. Our act is immoral when it is contradictory to our human nature. Our intellect and free will make us different from and above the best. Next slide. So, on the basis of this, how to describe a moral character? There are so many things you have read or you will read in your books in stress management, business management, and management skills in engineering also. But in summary or in a nutshell, we have 4 describing moral characters. On the basis of these characters, we can say that this is the these things are good moral characters, like being fully human. You have realized substantially your potential as human person. If a person is, as we have to talk about stress management also, so if a person is feels that I am a human being and I know about my powers, I know about my potentials, then I can do this kind of thing, I can do everything, or I can understand about my powers, then stress management is already done. So being a loving person, you are caring in an unselfish and mature manner with yourself, other people, and God. Being a virtuous person, you have acquired good habits and attitude, and you practice them consistently in your daily life. If a person follow this rule, if a person follow this rule, or if a person follow this rule, if a person follow any kind of that these 3 rules, a person will become perfect, and the perfect person can overcome any kind of stress, and the stress is managed. Being a morally mature person, you have reached a level of development emotionally, socially, mentally, spiritually, appreciate to your developmental stages. So a person who has these 4 moral values can easily overcome any kind of stress. Next slide, please. So moral principle and stress management. So morals are social, cultural, and religious beliefs or values of an individual or group which tell us what is right and what is wrong. They are the rules and standards made by the society or culture which is to be followed by us while deciding what is right. Some moral principles are: don't cheat, be loyal, be patient, always tell the truth, be generous, our mother, our family, our surrounding, incorporate all these things in our little minds when we have blooming minds in our childhood. So moral refers to the beliefs what is not objectively right, but objectively means at that situation, but what is considered right for any situation means sahi hai to sahi hai. If condition may be, what will be the condition, but the thing, the rule which is right to the right. So it can be said that what is morally correct may not be objectively correct in some situation, as I already explained you with examples. Moral principles and how they impact our life. When you act or speak against your morals, this lecture is totally depends on your own experiences of your life that whenever you act or speak against your morals, you begin to experience guilt and shame. You feel guilty about your actions, which can cause you to feel ashamed of yourself. And when you left your moral, you are going towards stress. And if you walk with your morals, you are going towards stress management. Sticking to your moral principle helps you live a life you are proud of, which is associated with greater happiness, stress-free life. Morals are associated with religion and holy books. Therefore, a God-fearing person can easily accept the rules, and that leads to a balanced social and individual life. As we say, we are used to say that Purane log, they were very happy in their life. How they were happy? Because they were followed these moral principles in their life. So, what are the roles of moral principle in their stress management? That is, they treat others. If the moral principle we are going with all three moral principles, treat others to the way you want to be treated. If everyone lived by this rule, it's possible that crime and bullying could not be greatly diminished. So, stress is managed, balance stress, speak the truth, do not lie, don't lie. When you are honest with other people, they will know that they can trust you, which helps establish better relationship, better self-esteem, less stress, and stress is managed. Don't spend what you don't have. हमारे बड़े लोग कहते हैं जितना चादर होती है उतना ही पैर फैलाना चाहिए. You should handle your finance responsibly, which include not spending money you don't have. That condition will reduce your stress, and your stress will managed. Keep your words. If you follow through on the things that you say you are going to do, people will trust you more. You will also trust yourself more. This often leads to the better professional relationships, career advancement, and upgrade your life, and your stress will be managed. So this is the role of moral principles in stress management. Next slide, please. If I am going with integrity, I find trust. If I inculcate responsibility in my working style, I find inspiration. If I inculcate forgiveness in my life, I find innovations. Okay. If I inculcate compassion with others, I find retention of relationships and social standards. So this is the moral principles and their impact in our life. Next slide, please. So everybody should think, when we are talking about stress management, everybody should think about, are you living your moral principles? A moral injury is a deep violation of moral standards that affects mental and social health. This is a new word, moral injury. If any person lost her moral, then it is called moral injury, and this is a very drastic condition for an individual. You are not living your best life if you violate your moral. So you have to follow your moral rules. It's important that you align your actions and words with your moral principles. When you do this, the pieces of your life tend to fall into places. So you have to follow moral principles in your life as a human being, because these moral principles makes you a human. You will experience more stress-free because you are staying true to yourself. Because moral means to be a human being, to be the most maximum potential as a human being. So you have to follow your moral rules according to your religion, according to your society, according to the law of nature. That only you can live a stress-free life. Next slide, please. So, moral values and stress management. Buddhism shows some moral values, and this is not about the Buddhism. Actually, all the religion shows all these values. Then, if we have right view, first one, if we have right view, then right view helps to evaluate our abilities. We can evaluate what I can do, what I can't do, and we will work accordingly, and the stress will managed. Good behavior and social bonding makes life easy and stress-free. If I show some good behavior to somebody, then reciprocately, he will also show same kind of behavior. I will feel happy, I will feel satisfied, and the stress is managed. Right speech, that one, right is green one. The right speech leads to the less conflicts as well as less stress. If I think before speaking or delivering any word from my mouth, then it will also reduce our stress level. Right action with ethical approach gives better results and stress-free life. Next one is right livelihood. And financial management also manage the stress. If I have a good financial management, I know I have earned 10 rupees and I have to save 1 rupees for my future, and I have to work within these 9 rupees, then that will create a stress-free life. Right prosecution about a situation can make it an opportunity instead of stress. Right efforts with moral values can result in achievement and reduce stress, social, organizational, and individual level. Next slide, please. So, in conclusion, what is the cause of stress? Actually, the cause of stress is sustainability. We want to sustain in any situation, and if things are not working in line of our sustainability, then we feel stress. So, sustainability is the key foundation of the life. It helps life flourish in every direction. Every human life requires various prospectively, so it can live sustainably with others in society. Ethics and value are two prospective viewpoints that give life its sustainability in society. Actually, society has its own sustainability on the basis of these ethics, values, and morals. It helps them pursue their desire within the limits of mankind. Next slide, please. So, we are reaching to the last slide of our this presentation. So, what we have learned today, the role of ethics and morals in stress management. Morals are dictated by society, culture, or religion. Ethics are chosen by the person himself, which governs his life. But if a person equipped with these morals and ethics, he or she can become mentally sound with healthy perspective against stress. This defense system is a powerful tool for stress management. Next slide. Thank you.